Here we are with another Saturday Night Live Zoom. It's, May 4th, 2019 is what the calendar says. So we have another gathering here. Awesome to have everybody aboard, on board. As usual, we get together here to support and inspire each other because I've found in the last 3 decades there's absolutely almost nil support out there on this lifestyle. So you're either on your own or you find people that are have the understanding of living a fasting lifestyle. And there's very few around. But the circle's growing little by little all the time over the last several years. And social media has been a wonderful tool for us to reach out to around the globe. So we're not only limited to our surrounding areas where we reside, where we live, where we use our home.
Internet.
Yeah, the internet's been an amazing tool
Support each other
for this kind of thing and for many other things.
Mhm.
It's a wonderful tool. Just like any other tool, a knife, what can you use it for? You can use it to kill, or you can use it for many other things besides killing. A gun, that sole purpose was designed to kill. There's not, you can do target shooting and everything, but its purpose design was to kill, whereas a knife has many purposes. And I don't think the original knife was for killing. Maybe it was. I don't know. But there's many things you can use it for. You can use many things as weapons that nobody would even think about. You can use a rag as a weapon. You can use a hammer as a weapon. You can use a screwdriver as a weapon. You can use your fist as a weapon. You can use your car as a weapon.
So at the end of the day, it's your responsibility. So, what you do with the tool.
If you get a lawyer involved, then all those things are the fault of the manufacturer, and the manufacturer's to blame instead of blaming the actual, person doing it. How the Luciferic intellect can twist everything and make you believe them too. But, we can all have fun and understand that what sings in your heart is what's going to transpire in your life. I posted Bruce Lipton video today because I haven't seen his stuff in a while, but he's got some very good stuff where if people watch it, they'll get a better understanding on energies and how intent and emotion and environment is exactly why you are where you are. He explains it very nicely in the new science, not mainstream science. Like he was, cast out in mainstream science's way and the medical stuff, and he speaks of how much all bull crap it is because they're only looking at the physicality only in medical science, right? That's it. They're not looking at anything. They're looking at us like a machine, whereas a machine is the effect. It's not how everything comes to be and how it all happens. And that's what we're talking about when we're getting into the plasma kind of things and energies and so on and so forth, and creation and everything. The physical things are the effects. The matter is the effects. So everything else is happening on the other side, what we don't visually see, but is where every single thing of creation starts through that energetic side. So yeah, if you haven't watched Bruce Lipton's stuff, highly recommend it. The biology of belief. He breaks it down in simple terms for most people to gain a different understanding, a new understanding. There's a lot of good stuff out there. What's the other guy's name? The Matrix.
Greg Braden, no?
Yeah. Greg Braden, yeah. He's got some good stuff too. There's a lot of nice, wonderful souls out there spreading the plasma love. Lots of them. If that's what you're looking for, it's out there. It's all out there. We, here in the MFS realm, just put in a different light of things, a different way, and expanded it in a way where people can actually put it into practice very powerfully, very simply, where I haven't seen that out there for people to take charge of themselves in the way we can through this kind of lifestyle. Because they're looking at it always the other way around, whereas we're doing it through the physical to access everything else, and they're talking about doing everything else to, and so it's the other way around. So I definitely 100% see way more success in this way than the other way.
And they're all connected at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying this is a simple way for anybody in any walk of life to implement these things and start seeing and feeling fasting. The changes. Yeah, fasting, and starting to come to the understanding of how to access the soul. Because when you go on a long digestive vacation, it's impossible not to start accessing the soul. You're going to connect the soul. I guarantee you.
That's why
that's one thing I can guarantee you.
Yeah, that's why it's in every religion, every spiritual practice.
You fast, you give your body a long digestive vacation, you're going to experience connecting to soul. Whatever that means for you, you're going to experience it. And that's the beauty.
You don't go longer. I mean, like, you got to go deeper, right?
Yeah. The deeper you go, the more you're going to get into those experiences. And the more I like to say is, the answers start popping up in plain sight. Firstly, the proper questions start coming up, and then the answer's right there.
Yeah. The most important thing, of course, is to be consistent with it, right? Being patient and being consistent, making a lifestyle, so that it's always there. You're always connected.
If you don't live it and love it, you'll have a little taste here and whatever your next one, and then you'll go through some challenges and so on and so forth. But
there's nothing like making a lifestyle.
It's everybody will implement it as a lifestyle when they're ready, not before. Because we all came here for different experiences, and for some of us, believe it or not, misery, pain, and suffering. because look what's out there.
The majority of us are afraid of changing. And it's a change. It's a change in lifestyle. It's a big change. You can do it slowly. You can do 2 days a week of master fast. Still a big change. And clean eating the other days.
Yeah.
Still a big change, but it's a smaller change, but it's a change, and many people are afraid of changing. So I guess when a person is ready, but we suggest that everybody changes, grow and change and improve.
If somebody is not in a real serious health challenge kind of way, start doing a couple days a week mass fast. 1 day dry, 2 days mass fast, and start like that. And feel the difference going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You're going to start getting some changes. And of course, clean up your diet.
Yeah, you would really appreciate the fasting days. Yeah, you would if you do 2 days a week even, you would really start understand. But you want to be consistent, because it's not maybe 1-2 weeks. It's not going to be much of a change. But if you do like 6 months or something, 2 days a week of massive fast, you will see a big change. And of course, lighten up your diet. When you eat 2 meals a day, intermittent fasting every day.
Yeah, 8 days a month, times 6, it's a lot of days at the end of the year. At the end of the 6 months, but at the end of the year.
How is everybody doing? So let's share. Whoever wants to talk.
Okay, I'll talk. Because I'll talk. Sorry, everybody. I love you all. Welcome. Oh my God, all the beautiful souls are here, and the people that watch the recording. But I just want to get back to that Bruce Lipton video, and I really appreciate you putting that up, Gino. Thank you. Hadn't watched his stuff for quite some time, but it was good to have a revisit. So, what do you do when you fasting and you can't go to sleep? So 2 o'clock in the morning, you go watch that video, which I did, and it gave me some confirmation on a couple of things. One is when he talked about, when you're until you're about 2 years old and you're in that particular state. I can't remember what state it is, but that's where you are connected to God and Source pretty much. And I was thinking, well, isn't that interesting how fasting gets you to that state? Because you can bypass all those other levels. You're from, was it 2 to 6? is when the world has you, which is true. We all know that. You give a child to anybody at that age, you've already got them programmed for the rest of their lives. So that's true. And I was thinking, how do you get past through that, which is obviously fasting, because that's my experience now, and it is the fastest way. So that did give me confirmation how you get past the mind, because I remember Bruce was actually saying how some people with their thoughts, they do affirmations, they do all these other techniques, and I've done them in the past as well, which is a good thing, because you are actually changing your mindset a little bit, but you don't go past the program. You always get stuck. And this is where I even see whoever I talk to, where they're trying to make change, and they're intentionally they're setting their intentions, they're doing all these things, but you get stuck. And Bruce really explained that really well, why you get stuck. So that was one confirmation that fasting can bypass that, and you can get to the soul, and you can start reprogramming your mind, which is what I'm doing now. I'm reprogramming my mind, because the mind is very, very powerful on this planet, the way that I see it. If you have a good human experience, you need the mind, which is all in your body, not just in your head.
You're talking about the subconscious.
Yeah, the subconscious. Yeah, so getting past through that, you have to go. That's the only way I can see you can go when you fast, and then you add meditation, prayer, and the other modalities or other practices that you want to add that make you feel that you're there with the connection and the intimacy of God. And the other thing he confirmed for me is that you always move towards love. So with your energy fields, because I was getting a little bit confused, like I thought, do I need to go to negative energy fields to try and be a purpose, to try and help, change the energy field? Not for me at the moment, but like I know that always go to what makes you feel good. So if your environment's not right, you've got to realize, like, you go, why isn't my environment right? How come I don't feel good in my environment? So you've got to, it gave me, I knew, the soul tells you, but sometimes you still do these programming things, right? When we know that, because it's in our body. So always move towards love and move away from things that don't actually serve you love. So it gave me that confirmation. Then it gave me another confirmation, but I can't remember what it was, because I was getting sort of in and out of dream state around about 3:30 in the morning. But yeah, it gave me quite a bit of confirmation. So that was really good, Gina. I really appreciate you putting that up. Even if people have watched Bruce before, which everyone probably would have, go rewatch it again, because when you're in a fasted state and you go watch it, you get different fields come at you. Oh, that's right, the field energy. Gave me confirmation about field energy. So how, the thoughts and that, like how it all, the wave and everything, and how that all comes into a field energy. Because I didn't understand how that field energy works. And so, like, I'm thinking, how come I feel all these fields? But intellectually I didn't understand it, but he gave me that confirmation how that works. I think it's really, really good for a person that loves that mind science stuff, but wants to try and, they know the soul's there, but you can't connect it sometimes. I've been stuck there where you can't connect. How come intuition? How come you're getting these synchronicities or coincidences that are happening in your life, and you don't understand why? That video really portrays that. And before I go off, I just wanted to ask Rana a question, was about Ramadan, because I know Rana's fasting through May, and there's so many different ways of fasting through Ramadan, Rana, and I'd like to know what you're doing in the month of May and how you're fasting. So I'll hand it back over. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm planning to do Ramadan this year, which starts on Monday. But I'm doing like that's a high level. We don't recommend it for newbies because of the it would be long daily dry fasting.
You mean for full MFS?
For full master fast, yes. So basically, it's from sunrise to sunset. Actually, from dawn, which would be like 4:30 a.m. all the way until sunset, which is about 8:30 maybe. So that's more than 12 hours of dry fasting, and it's during the day, so you'll be working. It's not when you're sleeping. Like for most of us, we would be working, and it can be tiring. And it's just the day becomes longer also in May. As we go further in May, it becomes longer and longer, so the hours would be longer. So it's very powerful because you're doing it when you're working, the dry, not when you're sleeping, and also because it's more than 12 hours. So I don't recommend it for newbies. But I'm going to do it this year, starting on Monday. Maybe I'll start tomorrow. We'll see. And Yeah, it's so beautiful because it's like basically all the Muslims in the world, which is over 1 billion, the ones who really worship the Lord, not everybody does. So let's say millions of people worldwide will be fasting on the same month, doing the same hours of dry, more or less. I mean, every country is different, the dawn and the sunset. And then we do the 5 prayers. So the energy is amazing. I feel the energy in Ramadan is amazing because the whole world is doing it at the same time. Like everybody in Toronto who's Muslim fasting, we're fasting at the same time. We're doing the prayers at exactly the same time, and there is energy there for sure. There's something different in Ramadan. That's it. And then the last, after that 1 month, there's the celebration day. It's almost like Christmas for us. It's like the biggest celebration day where you basically eat during the day and you get together with family. It's about getting together with the family and friends and everybody. But here we don't really get together with anybody. But I would like to fast because we don't have much family here, and the family that's here doesn't, like my sisters, they don't fast or pray, so they're not going to be practicing. So I don't think I'm going to celebrate at the end. But yeah, I want to do it because I do feel the connection. It's deep. And I'm going to do full master fast. Yeah, I'm gonna do it with full master fast. I'll probably drink less than 2 liters, but that's, again, like we don't recommend this for new people. If I feel tired, I'll probably stop, or I'll probably eat, so I slow down the detox. But I like to do the full master fast. Last year I started it, but I started I started Ramadan at day 106 of full master fast. Actually, it was liquid hybrid, so it was green juices on the weekend. And anyways, it was very powerful, and I ended up breaking it. I didn't, like, halfway through. I was very weak because of the long daily dry. So yeah, we don't recommend that. If somebody is more experienced, go ahead, you can experiment.
I don't recommend anybody to do full NFS on Ramadan unless they've been living actually and loving the lifestyle, the way the protocol's been written,
Yeah.
where you're clean eating and continuously fasting, et cetera, for at least 2-3 years minimum, to do a full NFS on a Ramadan type of thing. I wouldn't recommend it at all.
Yeah, so if you want to do Muslims who want to do on the master fast, I recommend that you do it eating, so
Eat a few dates.
I mean, like, yeah, eat a fruit meal, break it with a fruit meal, and that's it. Just do one fruit meal a day, and then dry fast like long hours per day. So just one meal of fruit, and that's it. Yeah, I told somebody who wanted to fast, I said, no, please don't do the master fast. If you want to do at least one fruit meal a day, it should be much better. And then after Ramadan, you can get into the full master fast. Yeah. Yeah, we can't hear you, Angie.
I know. Oh, thanks for that, Rana. And just one more question for Gino. Is that I know you did the 8-day dry, Gino, and I'm not sure if you went back to eating or anything like that. I'm just wondering how you're going, if you did, and what was different a little bit about this dry fast compared to others, or yeah, just wanted to know how you're going, mate. That's all.
Yeah, no.
After you dry.
I went back to food. I'm preparing myself to jump back on, into dry, master fast, et cetera, et cetera. What was different about it? There's no 2 days ever the same. And, when you're, especially when you're doing the long dries, it's just tons of downloads. And it's just amazing to be in that space and the feeling. There's nothing that compares. You know, I love eating, but you know, when I go back to eating, I'm going, why did I eat? I was feeling so freaking amazing, but why did I eat? And you know, we do because we do. But you know, the whole thing is about this lifestyle is we're always on, even when we take our breaks to having some fun with foods. We're always on. I'm always, when you know, I'm preparing all the time. As soon as I eat, I'm preparing for my next fast. Always, because I'm doing it all the time anyway, right? The dailies every week, so on and so forth. It dries every week, I mean, so on and so forth. So, what is different about it? Um, Nothing extraordinarily different than the other ones, but the information that comes through when if you read my post when I'm fasting, I I share some of that through the posts that I write,
Yeah.
and there's no better feeling for me than the long dries, but I always gonna put the warning out there because of what I see that people are doing out there with dry fasting. Coming from whatever, people are recommending people doing long dry fasts, 8, 9 days, and going to bed and stuff like that. We don't recommend that with a plugged up GI tract because we have the new understanding. And with this new understanding, you've all shown of the power of when you get into the uh, the state of starting to be able to clean up that impacted GI tract that's taken decades and decades to get to that state. And you can see the transformation and metamorphosis of people that are going through that when they start cleaning that GI tract at levels that we never knew were possible. Because dry fasting, long dry fast with a plugged up GI tract, all the emphasis is going in that gunk. The body's trying to work on that gunk, and it's going. It's a very aggressive thing, and things are not able to move because we're dry fasting. So the body's doing its best to try and burn it out, transmute it, whatever. And it's not a simple thing because all that stuff is mostly foreign substance, which the body doesn't recognize because most people are eating things that should never have been meant for foods, even if knowingly or unknowingly. It's in our food supply, it's in our air, it's in our water, right? So it's blocked up as obstructions. And the only time the body lets these things go is on a long digestive vacation, when it actually is able to dislodge and remove them because the body's saying, okay, I'm in elimination mode. Thank you for not eating. I can start working on these things that I have no idea what they are in this field. So I got to move them out. So MFS is just a wonderful, prudent way for everything to start working together and wash that crap out of it. And once you've gone into the states where you're cleaning out that GI tract for many, many weeks on end, and you've done this for a couple of years, 3 years, you know, slowly but surely you're moving your dries and expanding on those. And then you're going to see more and more and more of, what do you want to call it? The transformation, the results, et cetera, when you get into the long dries, because that is where pretty much everything happens. It's in the dry fast. You know, trying to put some intellect to it and basics so people understand it. It's just a dirty sponge. We dry it out by squeezing, and then we wash it. We squeeze it, we wash it, we squeeze it, we wash it. That's what we're doing with MFS. That's it, in plain, simple, common English that everybody can, relate to. That's all we're doing. So if you have a really dirty rag and it's all gunked up with glue and you're not using any liquids, do you think it's going to be easy to remove that gunk? No matter how many times you squeeze it, it's all gluey. That's how you have to think in the physical realm type of way. When you start cleaning the GI tract physically, you start getting into fields operating versus matter, because you've cleaned out the gunk, and then you start getting that what I like to call the autopilot of soul kicking in, where you don't have to think about what's happening, because the body knows exactly what to do, and it does when you clean out that gunk. And that's what we're focusing on in the physical sense of things with MFS. We're focusing on cleaning the pipes, to clean up the gunk, so we can access that wonderful place to be, where we don't care about the sciences, we don't care about the diagnoses, we don't care about others' opinions, because we fully trust and know that the body knows exactly what to do, because it's coming through the soul from source in autopilot. It's programmed, and you can't erase that program, no matter how hard you try. That's one program you'll never be able to erase. It's what we are. So I highly recommend everybody work their way to long MFSs slowly, and work your way to long dry fasts slowly. Always, I recommend everybody. But the challenge is getting the message across on how long it actually really takes to clean up the physical body. And there's so much misinformation out there. 30 days, you're going to be cured. 3 days, you're going to be finished cured. 2 months, you're going to be cured. 1 year, you're going to be fit. I haven't seen anybody saying, you're going to work at this for a minimum 9 years. I haven't seen anybody say that. And everybody, runs the other way because they're looking for the shortcuts. Good luck. Go find it. When you find a shortcut, please let us know. But a lot of them came back because they couldn't find the shortcuts, because I haven't found them. I've been searching very diligently for 3 decades, and there was no shortcuts. I was promised a lot of things from a lot of different people, but and some of them mean well and so on and so forth. They just don't have the understanding, because they haven't gone through the experiences, and the little gains they've had through their experiences, that's all they're sharing. And maybe they're not even sharing that, because some of them haven't even gone through some experiences, but they're sharing things from other people that have taught them. And there's the mixed minestrone mumbo jumbo that's out there. So the only thing I share in MFS is my experiences, which is a lot. I can't share anything else. And I can relate to others' experiences because of my experiences from my teachers and so on and so forth, from all of you that have gone through MFSs. I can relate to it because of my experiences. That's all I can do. So, like I posted that Bruce Lipton video. I should have posted that a while ago, but there's great information so you guys can get a little more understanding, because so many people are focused in the mind, how, who, what, where, when, why, how, where it all works. He's got very good information, but is it 100%? Most likely not. His subconscious mind, soul, how do we separate those? They're interacting somehow. They could be one of the same. I don't know for sure. It probably is, because you can't separate things. So the way things work exactly, we don't need to know. We really don't need to know. All we need to know is, what do we need to do? And the answer is always the same: digestive vacations, many of them, and start learning to do long ones, however long it takes. No matter how much we get bombarded and ridiculed and so on and so forth, we are going to have to come to terms that no matter what diet you have, you're doing, you're not going to find massive transformations happening in diets. It's not happening. You're going to have some transformations, and some of them may seem miraculous, but it's a walk in the park compared to long digestive vacations.
Yeah, but always start at your own pace.
Of course.
Honestly, 2 days a week, master fast is beautiful. If you're coming from a standard diet, I say this is what I say: 2 to 3 weeks just to get some big blockages out, and you have a taste of what master fast is. And then after that, make it a lifestyle. Maybe 2 days a week of master fast and eating clean, maybe 2 meals a day, and intermittent fasting. Do it for a year. It's doable for most people, for the average person. It's much cleaner than where they were, but it's not too extreme for them. And like if you tell them to do 108 days, it's a little bit too much, because the fast itself is easy, but after the fast, going back to the lifestyle, you might not like how you feel. You might not like food anymore. So, and that's not a good feeling. You want to be balanced, and take your time. Take your time as you transition. So yeah, make it.
I've always loved food. I never stopped loving food. I just don't like the feeling of the act of eating, the after feeling. That's what I don't like. But the eating, I love eating. Who's going to stop me from loving eating? I'm going to continue to love to eat, and I'm not going to ever not love it. And until I come to the time where, okay, I'm done with the act of eating, and I don't need to do that anymore.
Actually,
if it comes,
you would appreciate the food more when you start fasting.
Yeah.
I mean, just do 3 meals a day. Okay, or 2 meals would be better. 2 meals a day.
3 meals is too much.
2 meals a day, you will love food more than eating like the standard diet, the standard way of eating, because you're giving yourself a break. You're fasting for a little bit,
3
and
meals.
this little fasting, 2 meals. This just a little bit of fasting will make you appreciate food. So that's for the average person. But then if you, let's say, do 2 days a week, then you would appreciate the food more. If you do longer, you appreciate more. And maybe sometimes you appreciate too much, you don't want to let it go, which happens sometimes after a long fast. You appreciate food too much, you don't want to let it go. Yeah. So,
yeah, definitely agree with you, Gina and Rana. I said if you're going to make a decision to do a 108, or even what I'm in, be ready, because like that going back and forth, as I said last week, is I know I can't go back and forth, which is okay because I'm happy. I'm already preparing to what liquidarian's going to be like when I come off this long one. And I'm excited about it. I'm really, really happy about it.
What you're doing,
for sure. What am I doing? What? So, yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Yeah, because he's actually shown the path. Well, lots of people have shown the path that I think from the beginning of when I started MFS, and I watched his video, YouTube interview, even though it was very difficult to listen to because of what he went through. And I appreciate you, Miriam, for sharing, because that was hard to talk through that. And you handled him very, very gently. You both did. And that showed the possibility, because I didn't even know then that 108 could be a possibility, right? Until you listen to the interviews and then you realize the possibility. And so I think people intuitively know if fasting's going to be part of their lifestyle or not. Like I intuitively knew, and many people that are fasters here, I think you intuitively know there's some sort of fasting's going to be part of your lifestyle. But MFS, just compared to, I shouldn't really compare to other things, because other things are probably good for other people. But for me personally, MFS definitely gave the roadmap to the soul, because that's all I wanted, was to be with the soul. Because once you do that, then the rest is all sorted: mind, body, health, the whole lot. It's just like, you hand it over, and the rest seems to guide you pretty well, in my experience anyway. I actually wanted to hear from Inga because I know Inga's very, very early hours in the morning, and she had her teeth done, and I know she's a soul sister, and I'm just wondering how she's going because we missed her for the last couple of weeks, I think. How are you? Can I ask Inga? Is that all right? How she's going?
Hi everyone, I'm good as always.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, very good. I think I was last weekend I missed all right. I went to bed, but then week before I was with yours, but I couldn't talk because I was in Slovenia and it was very bad signal. No, it's very good. Yeah, it's very powerful, and what I sense more and more, we are just so attached, and we live in this story what we create ourselves, and it's time to let go, and you come more free, and you really realize you are your own master, and life is simple. That's what else I can add, really. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Life is really simple.
Are you eating now?
Yeah, I'm eating. Because if I do fast, like I need to be really now, because I get so much in tune. Don't push myself, because if I push myself, as I say, my daughter is also affecting where I am, and just I need to go by my own pace.
Of course.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
This is the way we got to do it. We don't want to, push ourselves because other people are doing whatever. That doesn't mean anything.
No.
Leads to failure most of the time.
Yeah. You realize you have that key. No one else. No matter who teaches you what, you have the key to your own life.
Unless you give it away for somebody else to control it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, we're always in control.
It's time to take your power back.
Be responsible 100% and everything changes.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
Yeah. Excellent. What does Lisa say? That's the key to keep moving towards love, to light, to authenticity. Yeah. Elaine, by liquidarian, does that mean smoothies, juices? Smoothies are not liquid just because they're blended. You're eating. So liquidarian would be juices strictly, and or teas, and or water if you dare.
Yeah, so
which we're not into water, but some people are.
So basically, you're removing the fiber from the food.
Yeah. So basically, a full MFS is a liquidarian, or a full MFS liquid hybrid, which you're only adding green juices, is liquidarian. Just liquids.
Gina, can you do it on all cooked juices, like pasteurized juices?
Why not?
Yeah, thanks for that.
Mars
makes it easy. It still makes life easy. As Inga said, simple.
Yeah, Marin's doing it. The only thing, he's adding green juice, right? He does a green juice a day. Because just some people want a little bit of that savory, and that's it. That's all it's for. But I never really tried.
He's doing massive fast and 1 green juice a day.
Yeah, I never tried myself cooked green juices. I've never tried that. We've done the broths, which is similar, and we know the broths. You make it with your kidney tea as a base, and so on and so forth. They do slow things down, just like the green juices, right? So there's something about the fruit kingdom, specifically the dark fruit kingdom, that has the power to strip when we put it in high order. There's something magical about that. Why it's all like that, it doesn't matter, but it works. That's all we need to know. And we have several juices to choose from.
It's usually fruits
that
has
we've
no
experienced. Yeah, oh yeah, way more. So there's probably other other fruit out there on the world that we haven't tried that most likely will work, because there's just so much fruit on the planet. There's different fruits that we can try, but we have a handful of them that we already know. Yeah, blueberry for sure to work. I already know blueberry, blackberries, all the berries. That
They're very expensive.
very expensive, the
And they're
berry
not-
juices.
And they're
But
not
you
that
can
tasty.
you can mix. You can mix.
Yeah, that's what I do. I add blueberry into grape juice.
Yeah, they're amazing. The cherry is really powerful. For some, it's too much. And like if you go to prune, you know what that does, right? That's really potent a drink. And I don't know if anybody's try to do a full MFS with just prune juice. You'd have to carry a portable toilet with you.
Yeah, but the thing about the fruit is that they're like they're dried, right? So they're dried,
I
and
know.
then they are juiced, and then you add
Pasteurized.
and then they add water to them.
Yeah, I know.
So it's not just.
But it's
fruits.
powerful, and eventually, I guess if you would do that, it would probably come to a point where the body wouldn't be purging as potent as it does when you start drinking it. Like for me, cherry, I remember years ago it was kind of more of a purger, whereas now it's not as and much more different than the grape for me. So everybody's sensitive to different fruits differently. Some people don't like the taste of certain juices, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't matter. Just use any of the juices, like the watermelon, very potent. So the deep reds are also potent. They're not really dark, but the colored red itself is already a very potent, strong cleanser. The beets, beetroot, it's powerful herb.
Yeah, you don't want to do just beet juice.
Yeah,
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, I remember
People puke.
years ago I drank, I don't know, about a liter of beet juice, and I was put in a really strange state. And then I was getting kidney pains, and I started getting really tired, and I couldn't stay awake. I had to take a nap, and it was just a strong purge from just drinking that much beet juice. So that's a lot of beet juice. We don't
It
recommend.
works on the liver as
You
well.
do a lot of beet juice. You can add a little bit here and there if you want. Some green juice and stuff. I think some people have tried it in their fruit juices and stuff, but it's a herb, right? So
Yeah.
the tart cherry juice. Oh yeah, tart cherry. I love tart cherries. They're awesome. I've tried tart cherry juice as well. Cherries are amazing fruit. There's the pomegranates. It's pretty strong, astringent. The cranberry is very astringent.
Yeah, cranberry is very astringent.
What else is there that we have?
Like you can't
I'm
drink.
I'm actually getting used to the taste of cranberries lately, because I mix the grape with the cranberry, and sometimes I mix the pomegranate. But the other day I had a little just cranberry on its own, and I actually quite liked it. I thought, oh, this isn't too bad.
It's
Yeah.
So
very
you just your body just seems to adapt, and adjust, and that's why I kind of feel it's such an organic journey, this, that your form is adapting, and it's just and the soul's in there, and it's just all happens very, I personally think, on a beautiful level. I don't see it. I know you talk about it's not easy or not hard or whatever. I actually find it easy.
Yeah.
because I think the beauty of it is when you get past the mind and you're in the soul and you're in the presence and you're in the observed state and you're the watcher, it just you're not in your body type of thing. So the transitions are just very delightful and very fulfilling and very enjoyable. But I think if you put pressure on yourself and you're stuck in the mind, I see it now. I really see it. I see the struggle and I see, like you say, you see everything in clear sight. When you're fasting, you do. You just see everything in clear sight. It's like it's just too beautiful. Like everything is absolutely divinely beautiful. And when you do this, the adaptation of the body and the form changing and everything else changing around you in your environment, it just happens that you surrender. I feel you just got to surrender to it and not be fearful in any way. Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge for some of us.
Yeah.
Surrender when you're going through some of these very potent healing reactions, and understand and have the faith that the body knows exactly what it's doing. Use the
Yeah.
to help pull you through those situations.
Yeah.
But there's no crisis. Crisis is when you go to ER and they treat you.
Yeah,
Those are crises.
But like when, let's say, when I reach 2 months or 3 months on the massive fast, even 1 month, the healing reactions are very minimal, right? Not like the beginning, like
It
the first
depends
few weeks.
who. Some people have strong
Yeah,
ones.
but maybe for you too, like Ranjit, right? So it becomes like maybe a reason why people would break it would be the boredom. They're bored. It's too simple. They're used to complicated life. They're used to like craziness going on in the head, and you will have to be the observant. You'll have to like step away. Otherwise, you can't handle it. It's too simple, and you're not used to simplicity. And there's so much beauty to it.
We love confusion.
Yeah, I mean, I remember there was one person who did a long fast, and he was like, like, I don't know what to do. I'm so bored, and you're thinking everybody's complaining. I don't have enough time in my life to do what I love, to do what I want, even just my responsibilities. I don't have time, and you're complaining, like you just want to complain, like we just want to complain, find an excuse not to be happy. I mean, yeah.
I think it's like what Inga said as well, you just let go of everything. It's so simple. It's just so simple. I can understand why people would get, they're used to the old habits and the old paradigm of busy, 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 and responsibilities and lots of responsibilities, but you can just flip it, like you can really flip your lifestyle to whatever you want to do, like whatever. But then again, I feel maybe people don't know what to do, so but the thing is, it's not about doing, isn't it? It's about being. It's a whole different world, different ball game, different way of living, and it's just so beautiful. It's so nice, I enjoy everything, even when I had all that womb pain and everything, Rana, at the beginning and everything. I was in massive pain, like like I felt the pain, and then I handed over to the other dimensions, and then my hands heated up. So you got to trust the soul. So the hands, I don't know, I don't understand it, and I don't have to understand it, but the soul said put it on your lower, abdomen, and I did that, and then it kind of just all happens. I think the not knowing is the most powerful part, because then you are actually surrendered to the Almighty, the All Creator, that whatever you want to call it, right? You've just given yourself over. And that's, I feel, for me, that I'm learning through this one, is the highly connection thing. But what happens, because we're in our daily lives and we're in the mind, that it's challenging to stay in there. But I think you've got a choice. There's a free will there. There's a free will, because you can say, a negative energy field comes up to you, and you can either choose to go down that rabbit warren if you want to. It's just another door. Or you can choose to detach and go to source and ask, source, do I need to be involved in this in some form? Like the rejection thing I had a couple of weeks ago. Do I need to go through this? And, but, and will information be given to me, or can I help and serve other people? Like those just things of the mind, really, at the end of the day. But, yeah, you just got to find that balance, I think, Rana, like in the world and when you're with source, because my intention is to be with source and to have that human experience, right? So I'm learning, the soul's learning, teaching me, I feel, how you have that balance. And same with MFS. How do you have that balance? Like, what is that balance? I think it's unique for everybody. And I talk too much, I know. And the one person I do want to ask is Judith, because if she can talk, I don't know what her internet connection's like. How she went through her 5-day dry fast. I don't know if she can talk or not.
Hello.
Hello, beautiful.
How are you guys?
Amazing.
Ah, that's good. Well, I was amazing as well after my 5-day dry fast. This week's been a little bit harder. So I went through the 5 days kind of, like I was thinking would be really hard physically, mentally. So the first day was okay. And I was just trying to keep myself moving. Like Gino, he recommended me to keep moving all the time compared to before. And I think I had that mindset of resting when I'm fasting because of the water fast. I've done a few water fasts in the past, and it was all about resting your body, keep the energy. So I think I kept that mindset from that past experience. But even moving myself was really, really hard. Like I think I remember day 2 was really hard. Day 2, I just want to kill everybody. I want to eat burgers. It was really, really hard on day 2. And the energy was really low. Like I couldn't even, it was really hard for me to get out of my bed and go to the bathroom. But somehow I have more energy very early in the morning because I couldn't sleep either during the night or like very late during, in the evening. So I went a few times on the beach as well just to ground myself. But I was not taking showers, so I was not doing too much on the beach either. That was really good, just sitting down on the beach and ground myself. I didn't touch the water. I wish I could touch the water because I felt like the water was calling me all the time when I was going to the beach. But it was mostly emotions for me. My ears were blocked again. That's something that I experienced as well on 108. It's my ears were blocked for like the last 2 months nonstop, every day. So I know that for me, everything is all about the sinuses as well. Every time I do a long fast as well, the detox start to come from my head.
You see
A
how
lot.
much work it takes to clean?
Sorry?
You see how much work it takes to clean out?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, and it's just
you've been doing
it's a long process.
a few years you've been going, right?
Yes.
Keep digging. It doesn't stop. You keep digging.
Yeah. So the 5 days were really great in a way that it really reset me up with my eating after. And then the fact as well that I was so overwhelmed about everything was going on in my life here and in my visa and in jobs and everything, it really helped me it forced me to take a break. That's why I did it actually. I was like, okay, we've got the Easter and I've got more than 5 days, 6 days exactly. And then instead of celebrating and eating with everybody, I just realized that it would be a good opportunity for me to do the 5 days. And then when I'm like that as well, I don't know if it's because of the fast, because you go really deep in, but I just was like, I was on a beach, I was walking during the night or very early in the morning or in my bed. And I was doing a little bit of trampoline, but I didn't want to interact with anyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't really want to connect with anyone, maybe because of the emotion as well that were coming up. But my big issue since I came back in Australia, I'm fighting against the salt stuff. Like even the salad, if I make a salad, and of course I don't even react well to the salad. I don't feel good when I eat a salad. So when I'm craving for salt, that's the kind of food that I go through instead of fruit. But since I stopped the fast, I did maybe 3 days of fruits. I did grapes, they were amazing. I did watermelon, and then I did some orange juice, but mostly I'm still on a grape juice. But I'm struggling this week badly and battling with my mind to not touch anything salty. So yeah. But yeah, thanks, Ranjit. My fast went well. It was very challenging. Like It was better than the last two I had in the past, of course, because I think because I've been keeping myself moving, like Gina said, but it was still very, very challenging. Like I think the three I did like maybe 7 minutes of trampoline, and I was like dead. I had to go back to bed.
As you
Yeah.
continue over the years, you will see you'll be able to do more and more and more of the dry fast. It just takes time, and it's awesome. The old thinking of, you know, when you're fast, you got to rest. We've thrown out that paradigm. We've broken through a new paradigm where we know everything's possible. And why do you want to be in bed when you can be out doing things and enjoying and tapping into soul? You have that choice. You can go in bed and do that way.
But also it
It's
depends
the old way of thinking.
what you ate in between. If
I'm
you
not
ate-
limiting myself to that thinking. I've found that moving is way better when you're dry fasting, because we have the new understanding that the stagnant lymph, which is our energy system, not our waste system, needs to move because it's plugged up. And movement allows it to move. Muscle movement allows it to move, and your energy goes up. So that's what the new understanding is. The old paradigm, some people are stuck in that, and that's okay.
But it also depends what you eat in between. If you eat
Of
like
course.
very heavy food and
Of
then you
course.
get straight into a dry, you're gonna get headaches. I mean, your body's not gonna like that. It's dry and it's trying to detox heavy food. So I like always liquid before dry, especially a long dry, just to flush the bowels and maybe colon feeding. So you're always washing, you know.
Yeah,
Maybe try that, Judith.
It's all in the protocol.
It might be easier. It might be easier than 5-day dry, and you can move around. You know, maybe.
Rana,
Mm-hmm.
Rana,
Yeah,
what was your longest dry fast?
3.
3 days.
Yeah, I haven't done longer than that. I mean, I like to, but I want to master everything: fasting and clean eating, and slowly increasing the dry. I mean,
The best way. The
how's it
best way.
gonna help me? How is it gonna help me to do 5-day dry if I'm still falling off a lot, still not feeling amazingly balanced? You know, I want to feel good. I'm not.
Very good.
My first 3-day dry, it was not fun. I pushed it. I shouldn't have done it, in my opinion. It was the first on 108 days, the first month.
It's just a limiting belief system.
Yeah, but
you're not breaking
it's
through.
fine. But my belief system wasn't there, and I broke it on I started on the weekend. I broke it on Monday when I went to work. My ears were plugged. I could not hear my client. It was not a good experience. So you know, break your dry at home. You know, when you're comfortable, because you're gonna be very tired at the end of a 3-day dry fast, your first one, and it wasn't fun. Yeah, it wasn't fun. I wouldn't do it again. I don't suggest to people to do it. Breaking it at work, break it at home. Start your 24 hours at work, and
always be prepared to break it. If you're a newbie into dry fasting, wherever you're going, be prepared with your stuff, just in case you need to break it.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's always best to break it at home.
Like I was close to 72 hours when I went to work, and that, like, you know, so I was gonna break it on the right time, but I was really tired. And you know.
And Judith, were you working when you were doing this 5 days dry fast?
No. I can't walk when I do that. Like I've done in the past as well. It's all the time I manage to do it when I have a break. Because physically I can barely go from my bed to the toilet, really. It's really, really tough. But I found as well that after those dries, during those dries, I'm cravings for food I didn't even touch for years. Like I said, day 2, I was craving for not even vegan burger, but like meat burger with cheese. I've been raw vegan for years and fruitarian for the last 3 years now. And then I don't know, yeah.
Forget about the so you still got layers that are that you're digging into that have memory of those things. Forget about the parasite stuff. That's all nonsense to me. You got to go as you start stripping the layers. You're stripping into memory, and you're stripping into memories of not only yourselves but ancestors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These are all subtle energies that we store in the physicality, and it's amazing when you start going through these experiences and you're going, my goodness gracious, how can I be craving that? Or how can I taste this thing that I haven't been around for 10, 20 years or whatever? Because it's all part of our being. You're putting yourself in a state where the body's actually able to release it. That's what's happening. So
Yeah.
if we don't embrace it and we succumb to those cravings, then we plaster it deeper into that memory so it sticks into there. But if we continue and trust and let it go through, we release that memory, and hopefully we're done with it for that time, for that part. So every layer, I've seen over the years, as you strip, you start going into, weird memories and things that start surfacing more and more and more. It's never ending.
Yeah, but why would you put the parasites completely aside?
Because we don't have to think about them. They're part of creation. They're there for doing their purpose,
Exactly.
which everybody misses the boat.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to kill them.
No, but
Let's kill them. What do we do to kill all the parasites?
It's not about
I don't
killing the
want to.
parasites.
I don't want to focus on that.
Gino, when I do a long dry, okay, and I break my dry, I have weird things coming out of me that look like parasites. Okay, so I totally believe I was feeling like crap because this thing was dying.
Thank you for doing your service. So long. Adios.
And I don't agree with just doing killing the parasites, because the problem is the terrain, right? The problem is the environment. As long as the environment is garbage,
you cannot get rid of parasites 100%. You live there. It's part of your being.
Saying that. I know you have more parasites in your body than cells. I know that much. So I'm not saying
bacteria.
That. Good and bad, but which is
it's all good.
Yes, but at the end of the day, you have more parasites in your body.
More bacteria.
No, everything.
Parasites and bacteria are different categories. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all part of creation.
No, any organism that lives in a human body, okay, is a parasite. That's the definition. Okay? So we're not trying to kill everything. But what I'm saying is, yeah, when you have how do you know that this memory is not involved with the parasite? So we cannot say, oh no, everything is garbage. No.
We do know through the sciences that parasites can influence the brain chemistry.
Yeah.
To do things like they showed up.
We don't need science. We don't need science.
I'm just saying. So for people to come to that understanding, but what I'm saying is there's a purpose for all this stuff. Otherwise, creation wouldn't have created it.
Oh, who said that?
Huh?
I totally agree.
So what do we have to think about? It's the parasite's fault. No, it's not the parasite's fault.
Who planned the parasites? Did I plan the parasites? No, I said when you have cravings,
it's the parasites.
It's probably, yes.
So you're blaming the parasites.
Yeah, no, but it's not. It's not like the beginning of the problem is the parasites. It's the middle guy. You have the terrain for the parasites. You're cleaning. As you're cleaning, you're removing the parasites. They're dying.
They either choose to leave or they perish. It's their choice. Instead of bombarding them with things to kill them, it's a whole different way of what we're doing.
When you dry fast, that's the best way to kill them.
The one thing I love about master fasting is when I came here, because we're all researchy people. We want to understand things. We want to know things. But I think you both said to me, and I think I got it through just the energy fields of the Zoom calls, was like, don't need to know. Yeah, so when I had my first full dump, right, I just called them aliens. I said, oh, look, the aliens are coming out. Yay, wonderful. That's okay. You want to be out. That's all right. That's good. But yeah, like I just, that dumping of all that stuff is just letting go. Yeah, it's incredible. Incredible. Our mind, for some reason, and I haven't done it, I don't think. I don't know. But our mind, for some reason, wants to go back a little bit into it and to have the understanding. But I had this realization this week, actually, where I've let go of my personality and my identity so much that I don't even understand myself. Like, I don't even understand who's me, except I know from the soul who I am, but I don't understand my mind identity. And then I thought, well, then I don't have to be understood anymore. And that means I don't have to understand anything, really. Like, you know what I mean? Like, on that level, I mean, having the experience is beautiful. But no, it's just thank you for that. like honestly, thank you for letting me dump the science stuff, you know, and all that information and everything. I just, it's the biggest thing in one of the biggest things. It really was.
You
It's
don't need to
so.
know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Who
Yeah,
cares?
but what you're saying is that
Why name the parasites? Leave them alone.
But when you say memory, you're saying about another theory, so we don't need to talk like this neither. You know, I would say it's all connected.
It's everything is memory.
Yeah, it's connected.
Memory,
A
and all
whole
everything.
experience is memory.
I wouldn't say parasites have nothing to do with it. I would say it's a whole package. It's a whole package. Let's not say it's this or that, right? It's a whole package. Who knows?
Everything is memory. The whole
But if I
experience.
make a drawing of what's going on, it will, parasites will be in the middle for sure.
Yeah.
That's
You
Hey,
know,
that's theory.
you know,
Nothing. Who knows?
Latrice, I think, I don't know, Latrice, I think you went away and you're coming back and you're going to start the MFS. Have you started fasting? Sorry, Inga, I knew you were trying to say something.
Okay. Yes, today is my first day. Day one. Woo! Master fast, here we go. Yeah, and it was my first day of experiencing giving myself an enema. I was kind of dreading that, but I kept hearing Gino's voice in my head saying some people don't want to let go of their crap, and I didn't want to be one of those people. So I said, let's go.
Do I have to do enemas? Yep.
Yeah. So, but I do see why, because in my first experience, I was just like, whoa, I can't believe how much I'm releasing. I didn't know there was all of that there. So I can only imagine how it's going to be from days on. Yeah, but it took me quite a few kind of attempts to get all the liquid in. Yeah, so I figure as I clear out, that'll be probably less and less of having to, oh, sorry, the doorbell rang, my dog. It'd be less and less of me having to, you know, do a lot of trial and error kind of deal. Well, there was no error, but yeah.
Yeah, you get used to it.
Yeah. And then I had a question for the kidney tea. The protocol said 1 cup. Is that 1 cup twice a day?
Maximum, yeah. You don't want to do much more than that.
Okay.
Twice a day.
Just wanted to make sure.
Half a cup to 1 cup twice a day.
Yeah. So you can do 1 cup, right? Or half cup, half cup.
Like that, you know.
Oh, okay. So I already did the cup, so I'm done for the day. Okay, I get it. So
you can do 1 cup as well.
Oh, or half and half.
Half to 1 cup twice a day. So, you know.
Okay.
You don't need to do a full cup. What I'm meaning twice a day. You can do 1 cup twice a day if you want. You can do 3/4 of a cup. You can do half a cup. Anywhere in that range, whatever you know you feel you need. Like myself, I do small amounts of the tea. I don't drink large amounts.
Okay.
I use the tea for the information, not for the liquid. I use the juice for the liquid because the liquid of the juice is what's the power of cleaning. The tea is there for the information, so I can deliver all the herb information. So see the difference? And that's why when people are talking about they're getting into using the broth. Oh, can I drink more broth? No, that's not what the broth is there for. We're using the broth just to settle the emotion, to get that flavor through, just to get the information, so it soothes us. We don't want to drink large amounts of that. We want to just use that for the information, and that's it. You know, just go with your feel. Stay within what the protocol is there, and if you don't go far off of that, you'll be fine.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm excited. When I was in Peru for the past 2 weeks, and I ate about 2 salads there. No, 3. The third salad made me totally sick because I was eating mostly juices, just mostly drinking prior to that. And yeah, I got so sick off salad, so I totally went back to juices. So I've been doing just juices pretty much for the last few weeks. So this feels quite normal. It's just a different type of juice. But the herbs are very powerful. I've totally felt the difference when I took those, for the first time. And I have the 12. So yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, we'll see how far I get.
keep digging. That's all we can do. Need some questions.
Yep.
Let me see. Lisa, I love ending my day with 80/20 grape tart cherry. Yep. Elaine, so you can live on pasteurized juice and liquidarian? You can live on Sol. You don't need juice either. We got Marin. Elaine, Marin is right now probably at around his 2.5-year mark on full NFS. So can you live on it? He's doing it. You can answer the question for yourself, right? Of course you can live on MFS, of course. The thing is that when you go and you want to stay on a liquidarian type of lifestyle, the big challenge for a lot of people will be extreme weight loss when you start going for, into months and years start happening, which happened to Marin. He was really getting worried about his weight. He felt amazing, everything, but he's there. Am I gonna ever put on weight? I go, Marin, it was back in about a year's time or a year and a half or whatever. I can't remember a year. I go, don't worry about the weight. When the body's ready, and it'll start putting on weight. Doesn't matter that you're not eating. And he trusted Sol. He continued. And then a few months back, he sends me pictures. He goes, my goodness, look, I'm putting on muscle. It works. I go, did you have any doubt? So, it's a whole paradigm of our belief system. And, then you're looking at, there's the growing movement of breatharianism, pranic livings, et cetera, which most of them are doing liquids, et cetera, but there's few that are doing nothing, right? No liquids and no food. There's very few doing that, but they're doing it. And some of them may have an occasional meal. I'm talking about, or an occasional drink every several months, or not even, once a year or less than that. And some of them are not having anything. So the things what is possible, instead of just putting a statement that everything's impossible, where do we want to go? Because we don't know. In the limitless realm, we're just scratching the surface of what's possible. So, if you look at breaking records in athletes and so on and so forth, every once in a while, new records are broken. What's going on? Did the human body change? Did the science help them? Absolutely not. The science always restricted. Oh, this is impossible. 4-minute miles impossible for human body. Blah 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 blah. And always somebody came along and showed, you're all wrong. Everything's possible, and I'm doing this, and then it gets done. So that we've got to kind of look at things a little bit differently. The pasteurized juice, we're using it for its higher order. I don't know how much more I can break it down. Like for the physical part of it, it's much more of a powerful cleanser physically. It's more of like a liquid drainer, we like to call it. So you buy here and they pour it down the drain to unplug your drains. We call it liquid plumber, whatever. It works strong, much stronger than raw juice, much stronger for that. But why we're using it, I get it. Still, people putting their nonsense about nutrition and calories. I just seen a post, I think today again or yesterday, and that's where they're stuck in those realms. You need more calories. You got to drink more. Okay, whatever. We're looking at it as in the higher order of things to allow the access and removal of the obstructions. That's what we're using it for. And as you remove obstructions, you get into the simple formula Arnold Ehret left us with V equals P take away O. Vitality equals power, take away obstructions. As you remove obstructions, your vitality goes up. Not the nonsense of you need more nutrition and you need this and you need more calories and all that. It's the other way around. But it's very difficult and challenging for people to believe and understand that because they're so full of obstructions. And a few years of this lifestyle is really nothing. You haven't even scratched the surface. Well, you just open the doors, like we say, 108 days. So they're not experiencing that V equals P take away O, and they think it's impossible. Where you put somebody like Marin, who was life and death situation, in a wheelchair, ready to die after 4 years of chemo and 13 surgeries. And he had no other option, but he chose to live. And he went against all odds. People actually bombarded him and blasted him and condemned him and said he was a liar and everything. We have to hear all this stuff. He's sharing his story, and people are, condemning the guy for lying. I'm going, my goodness gracious, this poor soul goes through all this, and then people say he's lying. The 3,000 cancer patients that he was with at the clinic, or hospital, whatever you want to call it, they're all dead. They're all dead. He's still going. They went that route. He went opposite, right? He went mass fast route. They went medical treatment route. They're all dead. So he shared his story to them, and they said it was impossible to live like that, and there's no way they can do it. They have to have their meat. They have to have their whatever. And they had to die, right? They had to die because that's the reality they chose. Your wish is your command, always. Livia, I'm drinking cranberry right now. Very sour, but I like it way better than grape. I can't seem to stomach the grape. Everybody's got different flavors and tastes of things, but you can acquire a taste for anything. We've had people drinking grape. All of a sudden, I can't handle the grape anymore. It's too sweet. And it's because you're stripping another layer. It's still, if you go into your memory, if you've ever gotten drunk to the stages of puking, that drink, more than likely, you never want to drink it again. Oh, I can't drink that, whatever, Jack Daniels or whatever anymore. Because what it stirred up, and you don't want to drink that no more. We've had a lot of experiences of that. So if you reflect that with what's happened last week, you're stripping into a layer of something that's disturbing, is not feeling well. You're kind of relating to that, but in actuality, it's doing the opposite. It's actually helping you strip a layer. And if you persevere and push and allow the body to pull itself through, you will break through that and you'll start to like it again. I've had many, many, many people who said they couldn't stand the taste of the herbs in the tea. And then my mother was one of them. Every time for a few months, she kept complaining about the tea. So I kept putting more and more maple syrup and stuff and now she looks forward to drinking the tea. So everybody can acquire a taste for it, for everything. People eat insects and they love that stuff, or snakes and different kind of animals, dogs, pigs, and whatever. So you can acquire a taste for anything. But when you clean the palate through fasting, your acquired taste will be more so for the simplest, wonderful fruits and simple greens and stuff like that. You will, if you start putting in the condiments and all that stuff, it'll be very strong for you. I remember way back I remember 2-3 years of eating raw and fasting and so on. I came to a point where I could not eat garlic no more. It would really, really disturb me. And we understand why now, right? It's not a food, it's a herb. So you use these things for medicines and you don't use them for foods. And as time goes on, you will see different things with different foods and flavors and so on and so forth. The cleaner you get, the more simple you'll eat. That's what I found. The more complicated you eat, the more complicated you want to eat. You'll keep wanting to get for more and more complicated things because these are the addictive things. The simple things are where we want to be. Elena, just crave anything and everything. Yeah, we've all been there, Elaine. We'll go through cycles of that, and eventually it'll be less and less and less. Does it ever go away completely? Probably not. You'll probably tap into these cravings every once in a while, but we can control them. And the more we fast, and then the more we stay with it, be patient, prudent, and consistent, the more we'll be able to control it. Because the more you do something, the more practice you get at it. And it's just like, saying no to certain foods and so on. The more you say no, 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 eventually, you just brush it off. No, I can't eat that stuff anymore. It's not, or whatever. So I wouldn't worry about these things.
Hey, Elaine, can you have you ever tried to eat in the other dimensions? Like if you have a craving, like I used to have these cravings for pasta. I don't have them anymore, but in my first one I did, and then I ate it in the other dimensions. And I don't know why it satisfied, but it really did satisfy the craving for the taste. And the other thing I did was is to focus on something else. So you go focus on nature. That's another thing. And the 432 music always helps me as well. So it's just sort of breaking the pattern in the mind, because it's your mind that's doing it, I feel. And you've got to somehow get out of that habit. It's just something that I don't know why it comes up, but it comes up, and your body is remembering these things, and somehow you've got to detour it, I find. And then so I used to eat in the other dimensions, and then go crave, put music. Music is just amazing. Any type of music can change a state very, very quickly. But yeah, you probably have tried them, I don't know, but sometimes these things take over you. Yeah.
So by eating in the other dimension, do you mean just imagine that you're eating?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I went into the soul, right? That's how I did it. But imagination is a form. So create whatever you want. So I used to create a feast table, and then I used to invite some people here on MFS. I don't know, but anyway, you came along, and I had 432 music on in the background.
It was awesome.
And then I'd go. Yeah, it was really. Yeah, so Gino knows, and we'd have wine, and we'd have everything, and we just danced, and we just ate everything on the table that you could ever imagine, and whatever anyone else wanted. We had oysters, we had crabs, we had prawns, we didn't have any meat though for some reason, but anyway, anything that you could imagine, raw food, mangoes, the whole damn thing. And then we were all looked after. We didn't have to cook or anything, and we didn't have to wash up. Didn't do any of that. We just ate and danced. And I used to smoke a cigar, because I used to smoke cigars in my old ways. And so I used to have to smoke a cigar with my port. And so I did all these things that I used to, I really enjoyed, in my lifestyle it was a while ago, but everything that come up, I just thought, wow, man, I can't believe I can still enjoy what I enjoy, but I can enjoy it in the other place, in the imagination. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's just like being a child. Yeah, just like being a child.
One.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Oh, it's so much fun.
It sounds like fun.
Children can teach us so much.
Yeah. Jean, I just want to ask David's here, I know, and I know you can't speak, but he did a long MFS, and then he broke, I think, and then I think from the last message he said something about wants to go back to fasting. So I don't know where. David, if you can hear me, just curious if you're fasting or if you're still breaking, and if you're breaking, how you going, mate? That's just if he's out there.
Yeah, let me go through some of these questions here. Olivia, I've never purged so many parasites as I do in OFS. It's never ending. LOL. Yeah. Lisa, yay, Lattice, Latris. I've had extreme weight loss already. Went from size 10 to 2. Wow. Yeah, a lot of us, when you're full of obstructions, the body tends to hold a lot of liquid and to dilute the inflammation. It's trying to dilute. That's why when the weight loss happens quickly, it's mostly the they call it water, but liquid weight loss. Waist loss. Yes, that's the proper word, Lisa. Latrice, yes, being on only juices for months. I had two, Elaine, I had that too, lots of waist loss. Latrice, Lisa, yes, me too, early a year of vegan and juicing. I felt the best I had at years in less than size 0 body. 0. Elaine, my waist loss and it doesn't have any soft cushion sit on. Yeah, okay, well, that happens. Yep. Actress people around me are scared about the weight loss, but I feel great and trust my body. Yeah, people are scared. Yeah, they want to put their fear into us. It's you know, we have a couple of people that got sent to mental institutes. One of them by the mother. It's pretty crazy stuff happens. Lisa, and it was a guy who was only on like 2 weeks on it. So he got sent to a mental institute. Thank goodness it wasn't a long one, because they said they sedated him and they force fed him meat and all kinds of stuff. Insanity. The stuff.
That's why you don't tell anyone you're fasting. You just don't
Exactly.
tell anybody, just your partner and maybe your dog or your cat. That's it. You don't need to tell anyone.
Yeah. Lisa should have had said that. I was less size 0, but that's when I felt best. Excellent, Latrice. Latrice. Yeah, I could eat onions anymore. They were way too strong. Yeah, onions are garlic. Way too strong. I used to eat the greens of the garlic and onions. I would never eat the bulbs anymore. There was one way I found that I could eat them again, and I would only do it occasionally. That was I would remove the center shoot of the garlic. If you know what that is, when you split it open, there's that little, you remove that. And then I would cut it all up and put it in a jar and put lemon, fill up with lemon juice, fresh lemon juice, and then just leave it in the fridge. And the longer it stayed, the better it got. It's just another form of alchemy to change its state. And you can have a little of that. We've shared the other one with the garlic, where you put the whole bulbs of garlic and you put white wine vinegar, and you leave it there for years, and it turns black in about 3-4 years. When it gets to about like 6-7 years, it turns almost like a syrupy, and it's just an amazing flavor. It's very addictive. You don't want to eat too much of that. You have, just a little bit here and there. It's awesome. You can do all kinds of stuff. David, still on break, need to go back on to fast soon, as it's still challenging. Thanks. Yeah, David, we all know that. The eating part is the biggest challenge for most of us. Once we come to terms and we understand that, we can laugh it off and enjoy it, enjoy the time, and make sure that we stick to the resets, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, et cetera, before we're ready to get on to another full MFS, et cetera. But
This is where Steve's at, because Steve's still in his break, I think.
yeah.
It's challenging. Hey, Steve.
Yeah, this week was a lot easier. I don't know, something might have shifted. I felt a shift earlier in the week. So I did five days fast, 2 dry, and then I ate Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm back fasting. So back MFS.
Yeah, it goes in
The cravings have just dropped almost to nothing.
It goes to that place where it's so intense. You're thinking, what is this? What's going on? It's like you're a drug addict on a rampage. It's just whoa. And then when we say emotion is seed, you really come to the understanding of what's happening, and you can come to terms with it and get through these difficult times, because most of us will go through these times, but we have the understanding, because if we pay attention and we're connected with it, people, and watch the videos and stay on the page and we're connected, we have the understanding we can pull ourselves through these times. If we don't know what's going on, you're going to go out of whack. You're going to go eat like a pig. You're finished. And that's what's happened. People who've just gone out and start bashing this and that, left, right, and center, because they're not connected. They have no clue. They think 108 days will solve all the problems. They're going to go back to their old lifestyle. Good luck. We are been talking about it's a lifestyle from day one, and that's what I understand it is. Elaine, I have some garlic fermenting following your recipe. I've been in a cupboard for a year. I was going to throw it out. No, don't throw it out. Keep it. Don't worry about it. Just leave it there. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. You can start tasting a little bit of it, but it really starts to get nice in about that 3-4 year mark where it starts turning black. Latris, yes, I had intense craving for potato chips before I started MFS. Like a drug addict. Yep, haven't eaten chips for about 2 years, but I used to eat them every day. So this is what we're talking about. When you start stripping the layers, you start getting into the memory of that. I don't know how else to explain it. Everything in our existence, in our experiences, is memory. It's all memory. It's everything we're doing is a memory. So we're tapping into and releasing these old memories that do no longer serve us. There's no purpose for them anymore as we're stripping them away. They got to go. So they come to the surface to remind us of those days. And it's fun. It's interesting how it happens. I've gone through really strange experiences, chemicals, tastes of chemicals that I worked with, and so on and so forth. I experienced that being released through fasts and smelling them, coming out of the bowels and so on and so forth, and in the urine. My goodness gracious, because I worked with chemicals and so on and so forth. Did body shop for 4 years and working around cars and stuff like that. There's always some form of chemicals and stuff, but 4 years of body work was really dramatic on my body. It was not fun what that did to me. But yeah, this is the fun of living the fasting lifestyle. You get to experience all these wonderful things. and the healing reactions, those are the most fun times, because once you get through them, you're always going to be stronger. Always, always, always. Unless you do something ridiculous, dumb, stupid, and break it improperly and put yourself in a crisis healing reaction, which doesn't happen with fasting, imprudent breaking of fast, because the body has all the intelligence of the universe, of creation, built in, and it's accessible through soul. So let's access that new understanding, because it's available to all of us. We don't have to know it because it's part of us. We just have to go through the experiences to understand it, that it is part of us. You can't separate it. Most all the spiritual gurus talked about fasting. So there is a lot of intelligence in our physical creation. There's a lot of intelligence. It's infinite, and the possibilities. We've just scratched the surface. I don't think we've seen anything yet of what's going to transpire in the next few to several years of people living this lifestyle. We haven't seen anything yet. We're going to see more and more and more people having miraculous, magical transformations happen, because the soul is limitless when you go into those realms. But the key factor that we'll keep talking about is connect to source, connect to God, connect to creator, whatever you call. It's the one thing that a lot of us were not that we're not taught. What's the word I'm looking for? We were
Manipulated.
We were manipulated, robbed. I had robbed in my mind of allowing that experience to unfold itself. As a child, as I say, up to 4, 5, 6 years old, we're all geniuses. And then what happens? We've been manipulated, programmed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. As the saying goes, if you start anybody young enough, you get them to believe anything. And you can look at through all the cultures and you can see that clearly. How all the belief systems, and people will fight till death with that belief system that they grew up with. Right? So I'm just saying, tap into Creator and get your information.
It would be nice to be programmed to do that directly.
Gino,
Yeah.
time to let that go. We are responsible for each and every single step of our life.
Exactly. We are 100% responsible.
See what happens, we want to still live in that moment, whatever age happened, and we don't want to let go. Once we let that go, that freedom comes in.
Yeah. Even all the things that we've been manipulated, robbed, whatever, it was a purpose for our experience. We came down through that to experience all that. But we're putting it in these terms, so it's very difficult for people to believe this. How could I have chosen this lifestyle or this experiences? It's very challenging for people to gain that understanding. But the mirror of truth will reveal.
But you won't be able to get really through your power until we're gonna keep blaming.
No, yeah, exactly. It's 100% responsibility. You go to a doctor, you got butchered, you're responsible. You made that choice.
Anything,
Whatever.
absolutely anything, yeah.
Whatever. That's a very important point that you brought up. We have to take 100% responsibility. Otherwise, good luck in finding balance. Good luck. That's all I can say. Because out of the thousands of people, I've seen the people that have learned to take the responsibility have the biggest, most amazing transformations. And they start gaining the understanding through the mirror of truth. The ones who keep pointing fingers are continuously searching and continuously spiraling out to more and more confusion. I need more calories, I need more of this, I need more of that, I need more of whatever. It's just, it's part of their experience, but
it correlates with the takers and givers too. So if you're in the giving state, it correlates. I feel that because Gina, this is how I feel, and Inga, this might be on what you're thinking too, or feeling is. I don't think we've got a choice anymore, Gino. I really don't. I just feel, maybe because I'm in a faster state and I feel this way and whatever, but I honestly think you either go towards dark or you either go towards light. I don't feel you can even live in the grey. I think you just got to go towards the love and the light. Okay, fair enough. You've got to go through your paradigms, your challenges and all that sort of stuff, right? Which is okay, because if you're in the soul, you're fine. You will be taken, looked after, as long as you're willing to go that way. I think if you go towards the more of the darkness, then, or follow that pathway into the mind and the confusion and everything like that, you're trapped. You are so trapped because your mind just spins. It just spins. And if you're a person that's in the grey and you know about light, you know that pathway and responsibility, and you don't take that responsibility to move towards more than that, you're just as responsible as the people that are living in the dark. Because, sorry if I'm being strong here, but I just don't think in our time and age, and just seeing how my form's changing, just having these realizations, I don't really I truly understand you either go that way or you go that way. I don't think there's grey.
Yeah.
If you know that way, if you know the light and you stay in the grey, then you're responsible as well, because this is what fasting does. Because when you clean out that GI tract, guess what's going to be shown to you? You're going to be shown the light. And this is where the confusion happens. And some people go back towards the dark, and that's okay. If that's what you want, that's absolutely okay. No problem. You're fine to live that way. But if you're in the grey area, I think that's even worse. I think that's very, very confusing, because you've got to somehow make a choice, you know, because otherwise I think that's where the grey area is a bit more destructive, I feel. I don't know.
Yeah.
Leave it to you.
Like you said, that in the way the situation on this planet right now, we're either going to self-destruct or we're going to be enlightened. There's no in between anymore. We've gone to so much extremes, right? It's one way or the other. And I'm for the light. That's what I'm envisioning, the way we're going to end up, because being in the middle, what are you doing? You're feeding both sides. How can you be feeding both? Feed the darkness or feed the light? You know,
It's balance.
it's the illusion of whatever. The universe works on balance 100% all the time, and
I cannot exactly describe, but my feeling is there is no dark and there is no light. There is just it is. And that's how I feel. Not sure, has anyone else experienced this now?
And I understand. Yeah, and I understand oneness. So it's just that one whole. It is what it is. Yeah, I understand. It is as it is, and this is how it is in this moment and in this now place. Is that what you're saying? In this space, it is what it is right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be in full acceptance of what this wholeness is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very. Yeah. I think it's very important to be not to be confused. Maybe some people are not ready to see a lot of the light because they're not ready to change. That's why I would say 108 days is like, it's best not for people not to do something like that, because it's just big contrast, you know, and it's just too big for people to move to. But you don't want to be confused. That's what I believe is very important. Just don't be confused. Choose what you believe is right and go for it.
There is order in the universe always, and balance always. Positive and positive do not work. There has to be a positive and there has to be a negative to have the flow happening. Negative cannot work. So there's always order, and in this realm, man has played with everything but the order, right? They put in positive and positives, they're putting negatives and negatives, and is the outcome of destruction of the mother nature on this planet, right? And it is what it is. We're responsible for all of it. But does it have to be that? No. You know, do people have to eat each other and kill each other? Or, you know, no, it doesn't have to be that route. From my understanding, it's only this planet that beings kill each other to live.
We don't know about other planets.
They consume each other. Well, that's my understanding. The universe, this is the planet for that, and we've come here and chosen to be here to experience that. But there's also emotion and love in this realm, which is wonderful, right? So we have the choice to choose through our free will of what to experience. And when, for example, when somebody puts their influence on somebody else, they murder them. Yes, maybe that other soul came here to experience being murdered. We can look at it that way. But what right does one have to interfere with somebody else's free will, even though it was in higher order of things. I know what I mean. It's a very difficult place to come to reason in this realm.
To balance.
Yeah, it is what it is. If we're seeing somebody getting murdered, do we just stand there and say, okay, it is what it is, let's let it take place? Do we do that? This is a very, very challenging and difficult situation. There's something within us that knows what is correct conduct.
Yeah.
I don't want to say right or wrong. What is correct conduct? Because the universe only works correct conduct, and it could not exist without that correct conduct for billions and billions of years. So we have to sit there and stand, and when we're observing things happening around us, is this correct conduct? Through our soul, is this correct conduct? And your soul will know if it's correct conduct or not.
That's responsible for its actions.
Right. So if I see somebody, being beaten up, especially if it's a child, that guy's not going to be standing much longer. I'm not going to let it happen. Or if it's a defenseless woman or something, I'm not going to stand there. I cannot stand there and say it is what it is. But I know where you're coming from, Inga. So we have to put some reason in things, and yes, take full responsibility. And when if I'm witnessing that happening, I'm going to take full responsibility and protect the innocent.
Exactly. And that's the reason why you were there at that right moment in time, to protect the child.
Right. So there's, it's a difficult thing to say that, there is no right or wrong or whatever. It's very difficult, but I'm going to just say, we know that the universe works with correct conduct, and let's leave it at that, which is balance. I think that's an easier place to put with reason. If somebody else has better words.
I mean, we all know that there is positive and negative, light and dark, and the whole thing. So there's duality.
It's all part of creation.
But it's all part of creation. At the end of the day, God created everything. So at the end of the day, and there's only one God and one creator.
People look at the black and this and that as evil and all that. No, when you look at the black holes, it's got all the knowledge of all creation, absorbs all. So look what's our pupil. What color is that?
Yeah, there is a lot. It doesn't mean dark doesn't.
Soul. It's absent of matter. It's got all. Let's keep fasting, folks. Let's tap into source.
Yeah, we're trying to use the mind, right?
Let's tap into source.
Yeah, it's nice to use the mind sometimes, but not to complicate things too much, right? Ranjit, you were saying something I wanted to comment earlier. You said you reached a stage now in the fast where you feel, and that happens. I from my experience as well, when you go longer, where you feel like you don't need to know. You're releasing, and you're happy about releasing, and you don't need to know what is this thing. It's an alien.
Doesn't matter.
Let it be. Whatever. It's something.
Yeah.
So, and that's, I believe that's where like you're 100%, you're happy, you have faith. Okay. When you're eating, again, you don't know. It's not like you know more. You still don't know. You probably know more now. So before, when you're eating, you don't know neither. But the difference is that now you have faith and you trust in the process, and before you didn't as much. Maybe you did a little bit, but not as much. So now I have more faith. I feel, yeah, like you really don't need to know. Like you're trusting.
Yeah, pretty much how Inga said before, it just is what it is in this moment, and it's just absolutely magical, beautiful. There's such freedom. Like if people really want to experience freedom, this is the best freedom, I think, I've experienced so far.
I've not experienced anything that even comes close to that freedom. Like when you're on these
Yeah.
long digestive
Yeah.
vacations, it's just wow.
Then you know you're not a slave to anyone,
Yeah.
but in my opinion, to the creator. The creator.
It's nice not to. It's nice feeling not that you're not fasting for you anymore. That you fast for the planet. Like that's how I feel. Like I don't got nothing to do with me whatsoever.
To
You
connect.
know, this physical form. It's got nothing. This physical form. All I do is just a lump that walks around. Like it just moves around. That's why I don't have the fear of skinny MFS. I don't have any of that. I just you're just in this form. You see it change nearly every. Like you see things change in a day. You know, like bunions on your toes that were there before they disappear overnight. Like you go, well, okay. I go, okay. I just say, okay, good, great. You know, I can't remember everything. So
What you just said would be impossible for some people to believe.
yeah, I know.
That's what you've experienced, right? Your bunion just going away overnight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an impossibility for a lot of people. Just a simple thing like that to believe that.
Yeah. And you know what that feels like? You have empowerment, that you actually have the power. No one else has the power. It makes me cry sometimes. Like sometimes I just go, I just accept what is, right? Like Inga was saying, and it is what it is. Even the ugly stuff that come up, right? It is what it is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well,
because the ugly stuff, if you call it ugly or lessons and teachings or whatever it is, comes up. It's just teaching to me. Like I don't think of it as a bad thing. I just sort of think of it as a whatever. I just think it's okay. I just say bring it. I say that stuff. I always say, soul, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it up. I don't care because if the worst, I don't know, if anything happens, I know where I'm going, and that's not going to happen anyway because I know I'm here for a big, some sort of purpose, and maybe it's fasting until 1,000 years with Jesus when he comes back, or when we live in the light and roam around for 1,000 years. That's where. I mean, if it happens, and we're going to be in our light bodies, because if we're here, we've got to be in our light bodies, and that's just how, I kind of think. And then the power of things happening overnight, Gina, you're right. Like, no, not the mind
that's
won't
only
believe
work.
it.
That's only could happen through work of the soul. That can't be physical things.
That's
It's not physical. It's all soul.
Yeah.
It's all creator. And this is how we're programmed. We all have that within to access that. And it's beautiful. Like I used to say before, in Masterfest, we love to share the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. And then I said, wait a minute, there's a mistake there. And then I corrected. I said, we love to share what we perceive as the good, the bad, the ugly, but it's all beautiful, right? That's really the reality of it. It's all beautiful. Everything you're going through, all the healing reactions, all the emotional roller coaster rides, it's all beautiful. Because once we come out of that, we're way more of we're in a place with way more understanding, and we feel way better. And we get into these states of, man, is this what freedom is supposed to feel like? Okay, now I understand freedom. Has nothing to do with material things at all.
That's why, forget about politics.
It's a state of being where we can all tap into, if you dare, go on a long digestive vacation and make it part of your lifestyle.
The best way I try and explain it is just say you went to a Whitney Houston concert when she was in her day, right? You went to a concert. We know that she sings from the angels, to have a voice like that. You went to a concert, so you're in that aura, in that atmosphere, and you're listening to her with the music, and you are uplifted, right? So you got the goosebumps, you are uplifted, you're so elated. Imagine feeling that when you're on your drive, like you did for 8 days, 24/7. Because That's the only way you can explain it. And what happens to the body when, like, well, Bruce Lipton explained it, didn't he? What happens to the body? So you're talking about, I want to heal this, that, heal the whole damn lot. You know, like what happens to the body is just, that's what it is. That I don't know if it's electricity or whatever that power is that's in that you know, that I think I had that experience that I explained a few weeks ago. It's that, like, on such a level. I understand now how they say you can have inner combustion, because the power of the what you feel is it is just like having a lightning bolt, I guess.
Well, the physical body does have electricity running through it. And where do we get the source of that power?
Yeah.
Do we plug
That's
into the
it.
power plant? Yeah, the soul. Soul is your power plant. Endless, limitless.
Yeah.
It's
That's why the power of your grounding, putting your feet in the dirt or in the sand, or like Judith was wanting to go to the beach and that. Like, yeah, that's just like she did that on her drive fast down to the beach and putting her feet on the sand. Whoa, like, yeah, it's not like how you normally when you're numbed out going down to the beach and putting your feet in the sand.
Yeah.
It's a different experience.
Yeah, because the environment, right? Environment will dictate outcome with your intent and emotion. So that's why connecting and being in nature is an awesome thing to do in this realm, because we're in the physical realm. So being in nature is going to put you in a much better state. Not that you can't access it through, you know, the mind or whatever you want to call it, but feeling and touching, because it's one of our senses, is so much more comforting and so balancing for us, or we wouldn't have been here. We wouldn't have gone through this experience. So play in nature, go dig a garden, whatever, and go walk in the woods, go on the beach, go in the mountains, go in nature as much as you can, wherever you are, in the summer, winter, fall, whatever time of year. Try and connect to nature somehow, some way, some form, and you will get to enjoy it more and more and more the more you fast. You will see how you cherish nature much more so. When I go into nature, boy, oh boy, it's just a wonderful, like a recharge. You know, it recharges you. It just, wow, it's just awesome. So we continue, and like we have all you guys on here, sharing giving your time. You know, we're all giving our time to support and inspire each other. This is what it's about. And the more people that do this, the more power we have. The people who watch these videos after, they will add to that. But it's so nice to have people live and stay connected, and we can feel that plasma love flowing more so when we're in the presence of everyone. But we could tap into it without the physicality, of course. The more we train ourselves to tap into it, the more we can access it. So it's just a matter of training to remember. We don't have to learn it. We just go through the memory of it, because everything's a memory. We come from the light, and we shall return to the light, either through our free will, to come to a state of enlightenment and realization or awareness, or through a death, a physical death. One or the other, we shall return. And we continue, folks. We continue living and loving the lifestyle. There's nothing out there that I've seen that can allow one to come to these experiences so profoundly, simply prudently, effectively, and safely. Lattice, I love this group. I thank God I was guided to you. Oh, I love all the support, understanding the lines. You're all my new family. Thank you, Lattice. You're welcome, Lattice. It's great to have you on board. Just stay connected on the page, keep reading, and start, accessing the information from within. You will see the more you go on the longer fast, the more things will make sense to you, and you'll gain more and more of an understanding the more you go through these experiences. There's just no other way. Like, we're all sharing and our experiences and this and that, but until you start going into it yourself, and then you start getting these downloads, wow, okay, this is what it's about. It's just the magical things that happens. So I just encourage everybody, stay connected to Source Creator, because that's the biggest thing that's missing in all of our lives. Otherwise, people would all be in correct conduct. And there would be no, chaos out there that we see and that we need to experience and all that, because we'd all be in that wonderful space of bliss 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's possible, with a few blurps here and there, for us to have some challenges, I guess. But we keep going. We keep going. We're what, past 3.5 years now, sharing, almost 4 years. YouTube, I started, I think, 4 years ago.
Yeah. Facebook in August would be four.
It was, August is 4 years almost.
I think Lisa's one of the oldest ones here, aren't you, Lisa? Lisa, I think you're one of the been here for a while.
Yeah, just 2.5 years, maybe. February 2017.
David. How about David? Maybe
It's,
also a while.
David, yeah.
Some people get scared. I got scared of facing the mirror of truth. It's I've been there, so I understand. Hannah, we haven't heard from you. How are you doing? You've been going through some challenges you shared. I hope that there you are. Unmute yourself.
Well, what a whirlwind in these 2 weeks. Let me tell you, I'm the person with the taste issue.
I know, I remember.
A major. Well, I thought it kind of went away. Well, the interesting thing about it, so it went from the soapy flavor to this unbearable explosion of salt flavor. Like literally somebody stuffs my mouth full of salt and I can't get it out. I mean, it was unbearable. It lasted, I don't know how many days. I mean, it must have lasted over a week. I mean, I couldn't, it completely distorts flavor or anything. I couldn't stand the flavor of the juice. I mean, I was really getting even like sick. And it's just, then at one point it changed to sweet, then to bitter, then it went salt back again.
The same juice.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't change anything. It's just what was going on. And I mean, I was just like getting literally, I couldn't even look at the juice. Well, needless to say, I was determined. I'm like, I can't, I'm going to have to break the fast. I mean, it's just, plus I am now at 96 pounds. I keep losing. I mean, honestly, I can't lose any more weight at this point. And it's just because I really had a hard time drinking the juice because of the disgusting taste in my mouth. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do one last dry fast and then I'm just gonna break. Well, normally I would have no issues with 24 hours. I could go to 48. I mean, because I was just at this, I wasn't doing well. At this point where I could barely do the 24 hours. I did it. But so then I broke the fast. And again, because of the taste. It was interesting because I would always enjoy drinking the bubbly afterwards. It was just so refreshing because you have, the concoction of the baking soda, or actually I use the calcium carbonate with the vinegar, and it just gave the juice a little bit refreshing taste. Not this time, because I had my taste buds tuned onto sweet. That juice was so sweet. I mean, I could barely get it down. I was just gagging. I'm like, okay, this is it. I can't do this anymore. But I think what happened is the dry fast, I think the previous dry fast was what triggered this taste issue, because it happened like a day or a couple days afterwards. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to be breaking a fast. And I bought a watermelon, cut it up. And I mean, because of my taste issue, I have zero cravings. I wasn't even excited about the watermelon. Well, the kicker was when I took the piece of watermelon into my mouth, it tasted nothing like watermelon, it was disgusting. I had to spit it out. Luckily, I also bought mangoes. So I'm like, okay, this is not working. So then I cut up some mangoes. Initially, I could taste the flavor of it, kind of, sort of. It was definitely, the mangoes tasted a lot, more authentic. But the taste afterward, it was just absolutely disgusting. And like, okay, I can't, I mean, I'm running out of options. So, I managed to eat 3 mangoes for like lunch or something, and then 3 mangoes later. I mean, my stomach is so small. This is really all I can take. I mean, I have zero cravings. I mean, I would be just happy if I could taste something the way it tastes. And I'm like, you know what? I think I need a green juice, because I need whatever. I mean, the detox is still going on. I just need to stop it right now, because I'm going back to work, and work is getting now extra demanding, and it's like, I'm not going to make it. I am not going to make it in this physical state. Plus, obviously now people are starting to comment, whatever. I can't physically find any clothing. That's another issue. But what happened is, I am now so thin that all of my shoes are loose, and literally it hurts to walk, because I feel like I have no padding at the heel. I mean, this is just like, this is absolutely incredible. So today I did buy all the vegetables for the juice according to the recipe, but my husband and I, we went to there is this juice place, and I looked at the menu at home thinking, okay, I see one green juice that if I ask them, eliminate apple, eliminate kale, eliminate spinach. Everything was the same as your recipe. The only thing they don't put in is fennel. So I had cucumber instead of fennel.
Yeah, you can
Man,
mix it.
that was so awesome. And it had ginger, it had lemon juice, and it had a kick of cayenne. When I drank that, like, oh my God, I can actually taste something that tastes real. And I just felt like I'm alive again, because the last 2 weeks, I felt like I was literally dying. So my plan is now incorporating the green juice. And I'm sorry, I can't, I can still feel the taste. I'm giving up on fruits, and I know maybe it's wrong. I will start having like small salad or something. I know it's too soon, but I mean,
Just do
the
green juice
fruits
for a bit.
the fruits are just not working right now. It's
Green juice.
awful.
Just do.
I'm
green
sorry.
juice. Do green juice for a week.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we, when you're going through these challenging times, we recommend go to the green juices. Green juices are cooling and soothing,
Yeah.
and they slow things down. I went through a metallic taste experience many years ago on a fast that lasted about a week to get rid of that. So I understand where you're coming from. I understand. You work with chemicals. Do you use gloves?
Yes, but I have a history of mercury toxicity,
Mm-hmm.
and as a child, I literally grew up on antibiotics because of my sinus infections. And this is interesting because when I had my last colonic, then of course they have a bathroom there, and they have the squatty potty. So of course, there's always the residue that's coming down by gravity. And I thought I was done. I washed my hands, and I'm thinking, oh no, I gotta go again. And I had another release. I smelled the antibiotics. Yeah. And I even had my husband this morning, because I'm like, I'm going crazy. I said, can you please come real close and smell my breath? And he's like, it smells fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But he says, okay, if I come like real close and try real hard, he said I can smell like sulfur, little faint sulfur residue. So I know I'm still releasing stuff. I wanted to go as long as I could, but my body was telling me it is time to stop for now. It's just give it a break and just kind of recover, and then I will just when I feel the time is right, I will go again. But right now, I mean, this is what I felt I had to do, and I believe I did the right thing. So I don't know.
Yeah. These are situations where it's very difficult for you to have the understanding that the body knows exactly what it's doing. And no matter how many people share their experiences, for you, it's horrific experience.
Yeah.
For us, I'm seeing this as amazing and beautiful. Your body's working out all that crap, and it's just begun. It's just begun. If you're talking about, you shared that you've been on all these antibiotics and all that stuff takes a while to come all out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It ain't gonna come out in one fast. I don't care how long you go.
No.
It's gonna take a while as you strip the layers. You must listen to people's story, the things they start releasing after a few fasts. So just one day at a time. You got to go at your pace, but I wouldn't go into salads now. Green juices and fruits.
Okay.
Stay on that. Even if the fruit's difficult for you, find some fruit that you can handle, even if you got to cook it, and do the green juices and stay on that. Your
Okay.
body's got to go through a massive shift from not eating to getting used to eating now. And make
Right.
sure the bowels continue to move. And if they don't, continue to use enemas and some of the herbs. So make sure they continue to move.
Yeah, I have to do an enema today. Yesterday I did have some bowel movements, but today, and I still did enema afterwards. But
Good.
today I'm gonna have to do enemas, just regular enemas, because I need to get the stuff out. Now, unfortunately I never got to open up my kidneys, but maybe next time. So
Oh, just
doing
live
some
it,
work.
love it, continue. The
They're
body
healing.
will find balance if you can.
yeah, and I mean, I was doing fine until, this taste issue hit me, and it just completely rocked my world upside down. And it's like, wow. I mean, I expected all sorts of things. I really didn't experience any of the things that I expected, and I experienced this. It's just but like you said, everybody's got a different experience. So
Everybody goes through. But I remember that, it was a metallic taste, and going to sleep, no matter what I put in my mouth, it would not go away. It was so
Right.
intense and strong.
Exactly.
The whole palate. What
Exactly.
the hell is this? And this is the body's releasing stuff. And if you understand, the tongue is a reflection of the GI tract and all part of it. So it's very good news that it started releasing. Very good news. And fruit is the best thing to continue to help pull out whatever the fast loosened up now and help move
Okay.
it. Right?
Okay.
Even if you can continue doing some of the pudding, you don't have to do as much when you're eating. You continue doing that, and stay on green juices. Stay on green juices for as long as you want. You can do them, for a month if you want.
Now, I was gonna say, I don't actually work with the chemicals. I don't make any of the concoctions. Unfortunately, that's the technicians who make it, and they snap pictures, and before we have to approve it. So basically we see on camera every step that they did, but we don't actually physically touch it. So that's a good thing for me. But yeah.
Okay, well, Hannah, just you keep the faith, keep the trust, understand that your body knows exactly what it's doing, and just be very prudent now. Breaking the fast takes at least twice as long as the fast, at least. So there's lots happening to fast, and lots continues to happen as we're breaking the fast. And this is where most people have the biggest challenges. Once you break through that taste thing, that's when the emotions can come into play, and you got to be ready.
Okay.
Don't go nuts eating anything and everything. Be prudent. Be prudent. Use, your understanding of what and how to break a fast properly, and let that stick in, because you just started. You just begun.
Yeah, I really finished. I finished 64 days. I broke the dry fast on day 65. And that's when I decided to just, break the dry fast and break the entire fast at this point, and just leave it at that for now.
Continue the dry fast schedule. Your resets, those are your resets. You don't want to go back to anywhere near 7 days a week of eating. That's bad news.
I find it's really,
it's up to you.
it's really hard for me to eat, because I'm excited about the green juice. Well, I'm not excited about any of the food, because it's just like it's a struggle. And if it tastes okay, as soon as I, maybe eat the one, even before that, before I even finish the mango, I just all the weird flavors are coming to play. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try cooking some fruit.
yeah, I'll try some. Probably I'll try some stewed apples.
Whatever. Try.
Yeah, hopefully that will work better than mango. But like I said, for the most fast, I'm thinking it's gonna be so fabulous when I break it and I sink my teeth into a watermelon, and it turned out to be completely different.
Try cooking the watermelon. We made it like a soup.
The watermelon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Tastes like candy.
Yeah, well, this is the last thing I want, because that's exactly what turned me off. The sweet flavor was so
intense,
overwhelming, and I've already battled the sweet flavor of the juice.
Were you drinking enough every day?
Well, I mean, I probably wasn't drinking enough because I could barely. I mean, I've tried, but I don't think I made it the full 2 gallons.
2 liters.
It was probably 1.5. So I did feel like I wasn't drinking enough. I'm like, this is the best I can do because I'm going to get sick to my stomach. So
Yeah, that's when you need to break.
Yeah.
Or slow down with the green juice.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the green juice will be my saving grace right now.
The green juice to the rescue.
Yeah, let us know how you're doing.
Okay, I will.
All is well. Nothing it's strange or anything. This is what your body needs to go through, and embrace it and love it and continue. It's nothing weird, nothing out of the ordinary and strange that I've heard, that I've not ever heard before. I've experienced it. There's not many things I haven't experienced too fast. When you've done it for so many years, you experience a lot in fasting, a lot. Because every fast is different. Every fast is different. There's no 2 fasts the same. Never. So we've gone a little bit over here, and thank you all for joining. It's awesome to have a family together and have our little duels and stuff. It's all fun. It's all good.
Thanks, Gino. Thanks, Rana. Thanks, everybody. Bless
Thank
you. Have the
you.
best week ever, and I'll see you next Sunday, or my Sunday.
Excellent.
Love you all. Bye-bye.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all
Bye.
again. And
Have a good week.
Have a good week. Keep the faith, guys. Keep the faith. It's trust in your.
Love you, everyone.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Ciao, ciao.